Afternoon, everybody. My name is Matthew. I'm from Express. I'm the manager of customer success there. And today we'll be having a webinar on the 3 keys to prepare your service team for the holiday rush. And so I'm joined by my colleague and boss, Dr. Mark Hale, as well as Mark Bortle, who's the service instructor at ATI. So let both of you gentlemen introduce yourself.
Maybe ask Mark to go first, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
Which
please.
one right there? Yes, sir. How y'all doing? My name is Mark with Automotive Training Institute. I'm the service advisor instructor there, as well as manager instructor there. And coach, we'll throw that in there. Why not? Right there. A little bit about me, myself, even just beside being in cars for work. I love cars even for my personal self. A little bit of a Ricky Bobby man, like to go fast. A little bit of a shake and bake right there. But other than that, my favorite thing that I love about what I do 100% is just not to be cliche, but customer service. And diving into that, I love meeting new people. I love just meeting everybody. I love learning about folks. I love learning where I can you know and I guess what I think like have in common with. I don't know, I just love meeting new friends. I'll word it like that, which is why I love being on here with y'all. I love everything y'all do, and I'm just glad to be here every single time.
Mark, I appreciate that. Whenever we have something coming up with you, I just learn every time. You're easy to get
Mhm.
along with, and that's that customer element, right? You
Hmm.
actually internalize it in every moment, right? That's the way you operate.
Yes, sir.
I speak highly of Matthew. He has our customer success, and we bring that. It's an attribute you have as well.
Hmm.
I'd like to introduce, I'm Dr. Hale, founder of Express. Very excited. I'll share. I'm excited about this webinar because when we set out the Vision Express, is originally on a payment side, and we learn more and more about the customers. And
Hmm.
then now we're so engaged and we're starting to see the trends. And now we're ahead of the curve because we know the value. Holidays are stressful. We're all running around. You finally make it to a dinner table, you just sit and relax, right? But all the running around we do. And when you have your customers in an automotive repair in the middle of all of that, it's
Hmm.
some stress they didn't need. Anything we can do to help them, we're all front and center, and that's why I get excited here. We feel we can make an impact. Mark, you do it for the way you educate shops. We thought we put this together. Matthew, thank you for pulling it. Right. And I saw that. I get excited. This is what it's about. Name a game. Let's be on an A game and help out customers this holiday. And it's been a strong.
Absolutely. And thank you both for joining me. And that's really, the main priority here is how can we better, service and provide more convenience to your customers to retain them. And because, the holidays is all about, spending time with who you care the most and giving things and gifting. And I think that's, the same nature that a lot of auto shops want is they want to be servicing and providing exceptional value to their customers. And so the first thing when I spoke with some shops to kind of gain some points for what we should talk about is what matters most to them, what last year did they run into, and a lot of it is expectations and setting expectations with the customer from the time they are scheduling an appointment to the time they get their vehicle, and how much of an impact that'll have on their perception of your shop, and also how much of a better experience they'll have. And one of the main things there and around the holidays is everybody's busy. We don't have a lot of time. We have a lot of appointments. We have a lot of family things to get to, meetings. And how can we then set expectations so customers understand how much of a streamlined and quick pickup and drop off experience they can have? And I was surprised how many shops didn't have any standard procedure in place for how they communicate. It was very one off, and that puts a lot of extra stress on service advisors to in the spot just know how to react. And I found that if there's a opportunity to create something there that then you can always go back to and know how to communicate with customers, it's going to save a lot of time for your team, and it's going to make it more consistent on the customer side. And I did an activity here that I know Mark has done in the past, where Mark Bortle, I looked up in Baltimore, because you're in Maryland, auto repair shops, and I went through, and every single one said it closed at 5 or 6. And we talk a lot about the importance of setting the expectation that a customer can drop off 24/7 and pick up 24/7. And a lot of that starts with here. If they see that they can only, to their perception, only get you during shop hours, which is closing at 5 or 6, then they're going to be frustrated and they're going to be confused. So, Mark Bortle, my first question for you is, how can auto repair shops set better expectations with customers around pickup and drop off? And what kind of procedure can they put in place to make that better.
Mm. One of my first things I really love saying about when it comes down to expectations is knowing exactly who your customers are, and especially this time of the year, right? For what it's worth, even for us advisors, we're already in the shop, right? We're already working, but we also still have our families we have to go to. We still have our own, either out of state in-laws, wherever it is we're going, right? So think about your own inconveniences first. What is something in your daily life, or what is something towards this time of year where you're getting ready to get up and go and oh crap, that goes wrong. Now, whether you already have a trusted mechanic shop or not, hopefully, they find us in some kind of way, Google, whatever it may be, right? Now, with setting expectations, think about your members now. If they're about ready to go out and go somewhere, just like I tried to relate about us, if we're getting out to go somewhere and a small inconvenience happens, automotive wise for our clients out there, our members, it's already 10 times worse because they have no idea what to do. Now, whether they already know us or not, expectations from the very beginning is 100% a must, whether it's on the phone, whether it's in person, or whether it's right there online, like you said, most people, I don't say most people, that's probably not true. A lot of people these days are going to try to find you online versus giving you a call. People still do call, but a lot of times they're going to go online, look at your reviews, see when you're open, and if you have the available, or if you're able to, choose a reservation through, your website. Now, where are they first finding anything about you, and wherever that may be, what information is there to learn about you even before they come on in? If I'm reading about you on the website, just like you said, if I see that you close at 5 o'clock, that could almost automatically have me. If I'm looking at it at 5:15, I'm probably not going to call you. So I'm going to move down on the
Hmm.
next list right there. Now, if it says it's open 24/7, maybe they give a call to you. Maybe you have a great voicemail set up where it says, hey, we're closed right now. Sorry about that inconvenience. However, we have 24/7 drop off, late night pickup, early bird drop off, wherever it may be. Just
Mhm.
from that right there, that could get them at least to the shop. Maybe they give somebody else a call, whatever it may be. But if that's what sounds the best to them for the best convenience, that's what we got to figure out. So where are they finding that out very first? Is it going to be on your Google profile, on your voicemail? Is it going to be when they first give you a call and you pick one up and maybe before you hang up, say, hey, take advantage of X, Y, and Z? Or is it going to be when they first walk through the door with a, no appointment, no reservation, and then you get to introduce them to all your amenities and benefits? Regardless, it's got to be at one of the first points of contact, because if it's not, then we forget to mention it. They never know what it is, and maybe they find another shop that finally tells them, and we have the same stuff, but now they're somewhere else. So wherever the very first point of contact can be, and needs to be website, voicemail, I don't care where it's at, email, wherever it may
Hmm.
be at. However, though, we have to remember as advisors to mention it right there. Now, whether you practice that, maybe you practice it with other advisors in your shop, maybe you have like weekly, quarterly training, wherever it may be, it's got to get in your routine now if it's not already there. So it comes down to routine, it comes down to practicing nonstop. It may sound a little weird to say it if you're not already saying it, just because it's something different. Just say it right there. Just get it on out, let these people know. And if you need to have it written on down, like in a script or a standard operating procedure, if your shop doesn't already have one, create one when it comes on down to that. And if you need help creating one, get other people together in the shop, but it's got to be
Mhm.
right there at the initial contact. So drop off, internet, voicemail, text message, email, carrier pigeon. I don't care how you're getting your information out there. It's got to be right there at the very beginning.
Mark
Yeah.
Bortle, you're making me smile because I'm a big fan of Steve Harvey.
Hmm.
Just a funny gentleman. And I cheered everybody with the Family Feud taping. I remember
Absolutely.
afterwards, right? He's just really a passionate man, right? And he just
Hmm.
shared things. He's funny, but he's really down to earth. And what he always said is, if you believe in something, write it down, practice it.
Hmm.
Just do
Yep.
some steps. So today we're talking about expectation. Be open,
Yep.
not doing it when your texts are there. Be open for your
Hmm.
customer. So say
Absolutely.
it to your spouse, say it to your tech. Go, we're this holiday season, we're going to be open for our customers. And just
There you
say
go.
that. What a difference. Go write it down. We will be open. Right. And I
Absolutely.
get excited. Just take that step today after the call. It's the most meaningful stress reliever.
Absolutely.
Because when we talk about setting expectations, for years, we're trained set expectations about price and time.
Hmm.
And the thing is, we've gotten really good at it. We've gotten really good at it. So I commend the industry. We're very good at it. Now, the next one is when we get into holiday, Set expectation, helping your customers alleviate the stress of getting to you. That's the next step and where the customers are. If it's appropriate, if you don't mind, I want to make a quick share screen to just share with everybody live this
Mhm.
takeaway to go check. Do you mind if I do that? Is that interesting?
Yeah,
When times
Could I,
are
please,
could
open,
I
please go ahead, do that.
could
please,
I
Mark.
chime in with one last thing right
Yeah,
there too
please.
about even like
Yeah.
the pickup and drop off?
Yeah.
To take it a step further from that, let's just say if your client is there in your shop right there with you, don't just say, oh, out the door to the left. Walk them out to where it's at.
Yeah.
Out
Yeah.
the door to the left could be anywhere, and chances are, yeah, they'll probably find it. But at 1:37 in the morning, no, they're gonna know exactly where it's at. They're gonna know where the envelope is at, where the pen
Yeah.
is at. Always take them exactly where you want them to see whatever it is that you want
Yep.
them to see.
There
Don't
you
just
go.
point. And if, not to call out anybody, but how many times you've been to a I don't want to say the name, but mall wart, and you ask somebody where something's at, and they go, "Oh, aisle J32." I don't know where J32 is. I don't work here. Give me a cross or give me a coordinate or something right there. Take your member to exactly where it is you want them to see.
Mark, this is what I say every time I learn,
Hmm.
right? And we had to focus on pick up, drop off, and then we have pick up. But that
Hmm.
drop off, on the way out, walk out with them and
There
show
you
them
go.
where the pickup
Hmm.
is, right? They may need it and they want it,
Hmm.
right? That's brilliant. So
Hmm.
great. That's a great learning. So well, I love that. So can I show a website? Is that all right? Go on from there?
Yes,
I love
please
that.
do.
Learn something. So what we're talking about is as your customer. So this is in customer acquisition, and I just put in Yellow Springs, Ohio. Right? They have a great T-shirt. I always remember. So Yellow Springs, Ohio. This is the same as your city. Go put in your city and type in auto repair. And this could be on mobile, right? On maps on your phone or on a website. But if you look, these are your customers that are out working. They have kids in school, they have sports and activities. What we did really good as an industry is notice all the reviews are high. We all look back 15 years ago, we were barely getting reviews. And now it's so important everybody has them. They got them.
Yeah.
Not just a few, they have a lot, right? So how do customers differentiate? And you go down the list. What does 6 o'clock and 5:30 say is I've got to figure out how to get to that shop. I don't know they have drop off. It's saying I've got to figure it out. Now look, there's one here at 10. Right. And if I'm scanning it, I'm gonna go there. I can drop it off, I can pick it up. And that's that differentiator you're looking for, right? Is don't put the hours your techs and you are working, put the hours that the customer come in. They know you have your service hours during the day, but they want to know you can bring it and pick it up. So get this going Google and make it 10 or make it 24 hours. But that's what differentiates you and it alleviates the stress of your customers. Mark, imagine you have kids trying to get in by 5:30. That's stressful, isn't it? Or taking you out of the day, right? I know it is. So definitely, but that's what we mean by going to look at it. And then it transfers in your website. I'll pick J&J randomly, right? If I go right at Facebook. I'm a tire, and this is a random pick. And somewhere on here, you typically have hours. I don't see theirs, but don't put your hours again, your shop hours, right? Put your drop off pickup and the time on it on your
And
website,
and
right?
make it
That's what
easy to
they should.
find. Don't make it so
Yeah.
that you have to scroll down and look on several pages. Make it front and center for the
Yeah,
customer.
right. So, yeah. Here I'm looking, we don't even see it, right? But we went in here at 6 o'clock. So we got you. So you go put that front and center. That's what your customers care about. You set expectation on price and service and they're in there, but I get stoked. So that's what we mean. Go evaluate yourselves in this outside in perspective, right? Beyond setting
Hmm.
price, time of service. Now you're an expectation about how easy or hard it is coming during the holidays. It's back to topic. So thank you.
Yes, yeah. Thank you for sharing that. So yeah, so the first point there is setting expectations, and then the second half of that is once you set the expectations with a customer and communicated that to them, is then what is your actual process going to be? How is your team going to enable the customer to either have a really quick expedited priority pickup or an after hours pickup? Because what I found when I spoke to a lot of shops, and I'm always speaking to service advisors and managers like Mark Bortle is they're oftentimes having to wait 15, 30 minutes after the shop closes to try to coordinate with the customer on, hey, how do you want to pay? How do you want to pick up? Okay, I'm going to put the keys in the car. Oh, it's a new vehicle. You can't put the keys in the car. Well, we're going to put it under the mat, or can you actually come really quickly? And it just creates all this confusion and extra stress that ultimately burdens the customer and burdens your advisor. And so it's really important. And I think a good activity here is just to write out, your current after hours pickup plan. How easy is it for your team? How easy is it for your customer? Because you want to make this something that is repeatable and scalable. So that way you have a whole team, they can all do it and they don't have to be coordinating with each other or asking questions. And then if you get a new advisor on, you get a new location, you can just copy and paste and you don't have to come up with this on the spot. So Dr. Hale, I know we talk a lot about the importance of pickup boxes. How much of a difference does having a pickup box, whether it's a small one like this or a more formal one that's really bolted in there, how big of an impact does that have for the shop and the customer?
One is they always stand back. Yeah, and I go, you Mark Bortle and you Matthews. If it sounds right, it feels right, it is right, right? So we actually went back and did a study, and what's interesting is I talked to a lot of shops and they want to talk to customers, but we talked to customers on their own of ATI members. 72% of them would like to get their vehicle after hours, right? And that includes at night and weekends. And that's a phenomenal when I demo. About 15% of shops actually have a pickup box. Everybody else is leaving keys sitting around, but their customers want some confidence in you. You can't leave keys unless the vehicle's paid, right? So if they're not paid, the customer can't get their vehicle, right? So it's insane. 72% want their vehicle after hours. Why? Because we're all so busy. We're trying to schedule it in, right? And maybe running late and can't get there till you close. No one wants to get there and you just close, right? So it's interesting is even a notion of getting a one key pickup box, right? I'm currently selling a house. You put the house key in a box with the combination on it, right? You don't need to buy something bigger. We're going to offer one, but go get a one key one. What a difference that makes for your shops, right? So overnight, I'm going to say for the holidays, if you don't have a pickup box, when I talk to shops that don't have one, they all said they've been thinking about it for years. Because we need one. It's so obvious, right? But you don't need to think about it. Just go get that house pickup box and put a car key in it, right? And get a combination for it. And you just change overnight. You're going to make someone's day this holiday by having that. Think of that impact. That's where you earn a lifelong customer. Right? And I'm excited that single thing is what keeps them for life every time. So you say a lot want it, and here's your chance to truly delight. So go get a one key pickup box. Right? But I will send you one.
Yeah. And how important too in that is the payment side. Because I know we talked a lot about, having the actual box, but what a lot of shops struggle with is then, say it's 3 o'clock and the advisor sends a text out to the customer and then calls them. They then at that point in time should be taking payment. But the difficulty is if you're taking a credit card over the phone, you have chargeback risk, you have an extra card not present fee, and some shops are just altogether stopping, taking credit cards over the phone. So then you need to have an option, and this is where we come and express that the customer can easily connect, authorize, and pay.
Yeah. And it's interesting, right? So I don't know, I have a lot of screens open. Everybody knows I do about 6 shop demos a day. So I got 3 screens, they're all full of stuff. I happen to have this one over here. I'll pull it over. Can I share a screen real quick?
Yep.
Here's the interesting part, right? Because they just had a demo, right? Imagine this is your customer wants that vehicle after hours. Put it in their hands. To Mark Bortle's point earlier is you've shown them the pickup box. Say we have the pickup box, I'm going to send you a link to make payment. What's interesting, the holy grail is this is no fees, guaranteed. So when the customer pays, there's no chargeback risk because they're not present, right? There's no added fees. What's interesting is, and this is why we like being all auto all the time, is you take that lockbox, put the code there, right? Or if you're still putting the keys around the shop or in a car, type where it is. I left behind the passenger wheel, right? Or I left on the rock by the back door. Type that in a pickup box code. What's interesting is your customers don't see it till they pay, right? So what I often hear is you take credit card to a phone, but I also hear is advisors, you know, told the customer that they're waiting for the call back. They go home, wait for the customer call them from home, right? And then tell customer the code later when they're still at home trying to get it done right. Right. And I hear about that as well after hours where advisors are fully committed trying to help out. They can make it a lot easier by just making it drill down something super simple where you take payment, guarantee no fee, but then you leave the code in there and you nailed it. Right. And that's the holy grail. So I'll just talk, leave it, if you would, Mark, a little bit, right, about how is collecting the pickup experience. It seems a little bit cumbersome still. We haven't figured it out. Yeah,
No,
we're
absolutely.
Bias Express. We made Express. It's super easy, but in general, it feels cumbersome, right? How can we guide shops to make it easier this holiday, Mark? So,
So it's a two-parter, right? The first thing I always tell everybody, you got to put yourself in your own shoes, like I said on the previous
oh,
one. You got to think
yeah,
about a time you were frustrated because you were 2 minutes late. You got to think of a time where you went to go
yeah.
get dinner, but they were like, we stopped taking orders at 8, but it's like 8:02. So I mean, that's the same feeling. It's not the same scenario, but it's the same feeling right there. So for me, I was telling y'all before we hopped on here, got into an accident over the weekend with my favorite car in the world. Long story short, insurances, right? So get finished up with work yesterday. It's 5:33. I go to call my insurance adjuster. I get his voicemail. It says, "Sorry that you've reached this. My day ends at." He didn't say my day ends at 5:30, but from 7:30 to 5:30. And I was like, "Dude, I was 3 minutes."
Ouch.
And it was
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the
Uh-huh.
of having to wait until today, And for some people, it's just tomorrow. For me, it's the car that I've wanted my entire life. It's the car that I love. It's my freedom. It's my escape. And a lot of our clients, a lot of our members, that is that car for them at the same time. So me relating my car, if that hits home for you because your car is similar to you, then cool. If you ever went to Subway and it was 9:02 and they closed at 9 o'clock, that's the same feeling right there. If you ever
Yeah.
went anywhere and they said, "Oh, well, you have to wait 3 hour wait because that's how packed we are," it's the same feeling there. So whatever you can do to just make life easier. We live in a very well, I would say we live in a convenient lifestyle, but the lifestyle we're in these days is very convenient and it's very immediate. From
Hmm.
Amazon to social media to instant gratification. I mean, that's the world that most people live in. And if we know that, how can we give immediate instant gratification with the most convenience possible? And just something like this. I mean, like you were saying there, Dr. Hale, whether it's a realtor little box outside for $9 you buy on Amazon, whether it's a pretty dang big old secured lock box where, you can have like keypad numbers on there, wherever it is. I mean, it all just depends on what you are willing to invest in your clients out there. The second part to the whole express part right here is, again, think about a feeling that you can relate to. When you talk about taking a credit card over the phone, I've absolutely done that before. I'm not saying don't do it. What I am saying is if you've seen anything on the news here recently about places like fast food places where you go to hand them your credit card and they have their phone flipped up and it's recording and they're recording your credit card information, then all of a sudden you're getting random charges the next 3 days from Wawa Sheets and Royal Farms. And you're like, well, I only went to one of those three places. It's a similar effect because I'm worried about if I give you my credit card over the phone, what's stopping you from just writing the numbers down? So
Mhm.
if anything, it's more of a peace of mind convenience when it comes down to what Express is right there. So if you are looking to provide just more convenience, take any of this into consideration, whether it's one, two, three, four, five things we've said, and you're gonna make the right person happy. Is every single one of your clients gonna be like, wow, this is amazing? Probably not, but the right people are gonna be amazed by it, and that's where it pays off.
Because when you're not expecting it, but when it's something's easy, you feel it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the
And you can't
notion.
miss what you haven't experienced. So if these people have never experienced it, they don't know what they're missing out on. So give them an
You
experience.
have it, you have it. And then Mark, this is my learning day. You said it again, right? So
Mm,
at drop off, you talked about walk out and show them the pickup
mm,
box, right? Take them out there. Now what you said is go try it out.
mm,
Maybe this is my challenge for you. Let's internalize this is we can sit and think about pickup,
mm,
but have a family member or tech actually walk through a pickup that's
mm,
outside business hours. what did it feel like? Go do it, go live
Oh
it.
yeah,
And then
it's got
you
to.
understand it rather than just think about it. It's okay, right? But
Mm-hmm.
actually, you're going to learn a lot by going through the motion, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they'll give you a chance to think about what your customers see and feel, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I really like that. So the first 2 points were, setting those expectations and then actually putting a plan in place to expedite it. And then I
Yeah.
think, it's kind of fitting that the third point is then promoting, is then making sure your community is aware of this and that they know they have those options. And there's a few different ways to do this. The first one is actually an inspiration from Mark Bortle. So we did a webinar earlier in the summer, and you had mentioned that I think it was a local shop in your area you brought your car into. They wrote you a right there, handwritten thank you letter, and how much of an impact it has. And I know, for me personally, I have something I do beside this where, I work with farmers, and I started doing the same thing. And it's just that little, taking that extra moment to thank your customer and go out of your way really does make a big difference in retaining them. And so I thought, what are some different ways that then you could promote and let customers know ahead of the holiday season that you have those 24/7 hour pickup and drop off. You're thanking them for their past business, and then also maybe offering some sort of, like complimentary tire checks or battery check or something like that to get ahead of it, so that they're bringing their vehicle into the shop and you're providing a value for them, and they know about, those 24/7 pickup and drop off. But I'm interested to know for both of you, what other strategies do you think would work? Because we have kind of like physical mailers, we have text campaigns to your customer list, with which most shops can do today, and then we also have your website and Google. So kind of with the mix of those three, how should shops proceed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll go ahead and take the wheel on that. Why not? So one cool fact I learned earlier this year that I guess I wasn't ready for was that I think it was between like 18 to 25, 18 to 30 year olds, the most common search engine now is TikTok. It's not even Google really anymore. And I go back to Ask Jeeves days, if y'all remember those days right there, old MSN days. So hearing that TikTok was kind of like the new popular thing now. Well, I mean, no, it's popular, but search engine wise, that's what I mean right there. Like people are searching on there more than they are Google. And then, like I said, I'm like, dang, that's crazy right there. So number one, obviously, is going to be social media.
Mm-hmm.
And when it comes to your social media, man, don't forget is that you're not just marketing, you're not just trying to reach out to your community, right? Keep in the back of your mind too, when you're putting these videos out, you're also marketing the future technicians, you're also marketing the future advisors, future managers, future whoever it is that you may need to hire or whatever it may be. So just keep that right on back there. But that's where people are going. I think your content should be 50% informative, 50% cars, all that kind of good stuff. And the other 50% right there should be the fun, the exciting, the new. Hey, did you know? Hey, brand new here. Check this out. Hey, whatever it is, social media in general. However, though, even when it comes down to like thank you cards and all this kind of good stuff, I love this. This is from Revolution
Yeah.
Motorworks. Not only is it just a thank you card, it's a handwritten thank you card. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with typed. It just shows the extra I'm not going to get mad if it's not or if it is type, but I'm just it's the extra, extra, extra. It's the extra little salt on top. But even besides like the thank you cards, one of the things I know a lot of shops do, I used to do it, was when a new member comes in, a new client comes in, was we would ask them for their birthday month and we would send them birthday cards. And a part of the birthday card was, hey, happy birthday. This month's for you right here. Hey, look, here's a reward for you, whether it's a shop t-shirt, whether it's $10 off, whether it's a koozie, a beanie, whatever it is. But then also on there, we would include, hey, since the last time you've been in, if we did something new, we have introduced this, we have done this, we have
Mm-hmm.
whatever it may be. And then one of the last things on there says, hey, you know about a referral program? But in case if I didn't tell you, in case if you forgot, here's our referral program as well, too. Invite a family member or friend, down to the shop. If they get something done, you get a reward as well. So it's just about, in general, getting it out there in any way you can, whether it's a birthday shout out, whether it's social media, whether it's, I know a lot of shops, and this is probably one of my personal favorites. Get in touch with your local, like, whether you're in a big city or a small town, get in touch with like your local dessert shops, sub shops, places like that as well.
Mm-hmm.
I love getting my name in those places because that's where everyday people are. That's where my clients are already, and that's where my future clients are. Whether you can hang up a flyer, get your name on a placemat, I mean, just think about yourself as a consumer on your daily ride home and see all the business ads and billboards and pictures and signs and say, where can my shop fit in on that wall, on that wall, on that wall? And then just go not put it up, but like go put it up. Go ask the business, hey, I'm automotive. In case you haven't heard of me, I'm down the street, around the corner, down the block, whatever it is. I see you got a few things in here. How do I get my name in here? Sometimes it's just getting your name in the most common places where people are walking by, because if it means something in that moment, if they see that and go, ah, that's right, my check engine light is on, bang. All right, let me take a picture of it real quick and then get a QR code on that poster right there, on
Hmm.
that, whatever it is, on that thank you card, whatever it is. So that way they can go right to your website, Google, whatever it is that you want them to see out there. So just, I ask y'all on your drive home today or your drive to Walmart, Target, wherever it is, just think about every place where there's an ad and where can you fit in right there, because that's where everybody is walking past and driving already. That's just what I
Mhm.
think about that. Where can my logo fit in on that wall?
And I like that too, because it's very intentional and it's not high cost. As oftentimes when we think about promotions or advertising, you think of you have to spend a lot of money and then
Mm,
you don't really know you don't know the results, you don't know how it worked. But if
mm,
you go inside a lot of those businesses, because some shops are probably in like a little downtown or on some strip where there's other
mm,
businesses, just go in there and have a conversation. You probably already know the people. You probably already go there during lunch break. So to think about, what if we just put a little flyer poster in the corner of the window? What if
mm.
we put some mailers? Because I know for me, and I don't know if you guys too, I have seen that Shen Yun sign now in so many businesses
Yeah,
to
it's
go.
everywhere.
And I know for a fact that they just had representatives just go in there. And if they can be in there, your auto shop that has been servicing your customers for probably
Mm,
decades, they're more than likely, they're going to be happy to have you in there. So just think about how you
mm.
can intentionally, promote yourself and the great work you do to your customers. And Dr. Hale, I don't know if there's anything you want to add
Oh,
there.
can I throw in one more thing?
Okay,
Because it
please,
has it
Mark.
has to do with food, right?
Yeah.
So when you're going into these places, let's just say you go to 10 different businesses and those 10 different businesses have 5 employees, right? 5 times 10, 50. I guarantee you one of those 50 people needs some kind of automotive work themselves, being an employee
Mm-hmm.
there. So not to stretch too far down the road, but if you start thinking along those lines, if you want to attract fleet people, think about schools, hospitals, go down that route, get your shop name in those places where there's even more people, but without going too far down there, just getting face out. When you're going to these places, not just trying to put your shop in there, think about how you can also help the people that work there. Hey, with you allowing me to have my business in here, I appreciate that. I'd love to, I'm not going to say treat an entire oil change to you, but come on down. I'd love to show you our business, what we're about, and treat you to, I don't know, I'll reward you with $5 off your next oil change, or I'll give you a shop shirt, whatever it is. I mean, figure it out right there. But I mean, a scratch, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. So when you go into these places, don't just have it in your mind, stingy me, put this up and hopefully I get all the business. How can you work with each other there? If they're a pastry shop, man, buy 2 dozen donuts a week, take them down to the shop. So that way you're buying business from them and then it gets your flyer in there. Just don't go in there stingy-ish, because if you're going to go in there for greed just to have your shop name up there, I think about it if I was a business owner, right? If you want to represent your place in my shop or, vice versa, so how can you even help the businesses you're getting out to? So that way, maybe if your name is in that pastry dessert sub shop and somebody is a customer in that shop is looking at it, maybe the owner or the manager or somebody that works at the shop goes, I take my car there as well. They're great people down there. I promise you,
Mm-hmm.
you're going to have a great time. So now the workers at the sub shop are backing you up. So it's a tit for tat, whatever you want to call it right there. Just go in there and what can you offer everybody in there?
Yeah, be focused on how you can serve your community
There you
rather
go.
than taking it from the angle of, hey, how can we just get more business in our shop?
There you go.
So it's interesting is this is as we step back, right? And this is why I enjoy my job. I've enjoyed them. I'm not the only that really care. They care about the customers, their employees, right? And this is genuine empathy. And as you're describing that, the biggest thing that helps you the most is to talk about others, right? Talk about that sub shop, right? Talk about somewhere else you've been to, and it'll come back to you, right? And you talk about them. And if I were to pull out back to today, it's like three things you could do, right? The one in this category is it marked it, and this is where I learned from you. I knew, and I didn't. I knew, but I didn't know he was going to do it. And we were going to talk about your handwritten cards. That's something we learned and internalized. What I was geared up to say until we just had discussion is have cards ready and leave a card in every vehicle, a thank you note. Right? Those customers didn't come in to see you, right? If it's after hours, leave a card in it. If they are to see you, leave a card in it too. Get in that habit this holiday season, and it'll promote you, right? It's following this through, and it's also your customers feel good. What gets interesting when you internalize it, I was just home with my parents last week, and I put don't tell anyone, but I bought my mother a minivan. It's my first minivan I ever bought. So I guess now it's public, but Jackson was the young sales professional, and I said, don't tell anyone about a minivan. Right. But what's interesting is when I went in, he and my mom were talking. She talked about she's going home to bake cookies. And afterwards, I got a text from him just saying, thanks you for coming in. I can smell those cookies from here. Right. And then it turns out my mom picked it up when I came back home. Right. And she brought him some cookies. Right. But it's that small touch after we were in, before we picked it back up, we got a personal text.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't take a lot, but it's all culture and mindset, right? As we're so busy, the things that don't take a lot, of things we don't do, but what a difference that made, right? And I mean, I look at it's called Honda City back in Milwaukee. I know their name. I only live there, but now I know, and I know the sales rep's name. And Matthew, I can't remember anyone's name, right? But his name's Jackson, right? And that's how memorable these small things are. So I challenge everybody at phone is one, be like Mark Bortle and leave everybody a card.
Mm-hmm.
They pick it up. But when they drop it off, the thing they're going to remember is when you learn something. I know advisors, you get to know your customers, you learn something about when they came in. Send them a text that's not canned. We're so automated, and that's what we're teaching you in process. Go and type the
I
one line
cannot stress that enough.
that's personal after drop off. You're busy, you could do it, we'll make it easy on you. Did you get to the mall? Did you find a gift you're looking for? Something. Did you make the dinner? Right? Make that after they've dropped it off. It helps take that stress away, right? So I challenge everybody, send out one personal text after drop off, saying we're make it easier, right? And then Mark Bortle, I'm gonna add in there, give them a car, put in that vehicle when they're picking it up. Right? Those are two small changes that make the holiday right that you can do. Get ready, go do that. But it's cultural.
There you
Right.
go. And
And
I was looking down at
go
my
ahead.
phone right
Yeah,
there for a second because you
there you
said,
go.
the empty text, right?
Yeah.
And I just got one earlier this morning. It actually went in my spam folder, and for what it's worth, I don't even know how to access my spam folder on here. So I
All
was like, I couldn't find it. I was going to show you all exactly what it said.
right.
But
There
for the
you go.
most part, when you get like one of those automated messages that obviously everybody gets, it's in regular words and all that stuff, but like
Uh-huh.
your name is always capitalized, right? So when I
Yeah.
see the capitalization already, I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, I probably won't even read it. I don't care what it is. If you need me, call me if it's that important. But the one that I got this morning, instead of even having my name in there in capital letters, it just said empty.
Okay.
Man, I read the rest of it. I can't tell you. I don't even remember what the rest of it said. That's why I was trying to bring it up. But it didn't even say my name in capital letters. It just said empty. And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
yes, I cannot stress that enough. If it looks like you're sending the same thing, I mean, you can send the same thing to everybody, but I mean, you can tell when it's very automated, when there's no emotion, when it's just very, thank you for calling or thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. Like I read it like Rosie and the
Mm-hmm.
Jetsons right there. So I just wanted to chime in with that right there. That's some people may not care,
They
but if I
own.
care, somebody else is gonna care.
There you
Yeah,
right.
and I think a lot of what we're talking about is, trying to automate some parts and create procedures and processes for some parts with a goal of then that frees you up time so that then you can give those personal touches to your customer. Because if you're so in the bog of trying to figure out all these things and just being really busy at the shop, you're never going to be able to take a step back and think about a lot of these more creative things that are going to, really be lasting and create, lasting memories with your customers for where they should, be bringing their business in the future, and then just as your community as a whole.
She's personal. I just know because I helped Matthew a little bit, we went through it, is we're hoping to convey today, and I always love these discussions. I learn stuff. I've already been sharing that. I love it. It just comes back to is holidays are stressful.
Hmm.
This whole year, and I'll be the first to say the elections made us all stressful, right? One way or another, it's been a stressful year all the way through. Here we go. Here's our opportunity. We care about our communities. We can do some things that alleviate the stress for our customers. It'll pay dividends for your shop, right? And we went through them, right? Provide the after hours, communicate it, and then find a way to expedite, actually carry through and deliver on it. I love that, right? And here's some simple things, right? I'm gonna internalize it, and gee whiz, my customer are getting a holiday card handwritten this year, right? And I'm gonna sit and do that, and that's the commit. So yeah, you just learn that, and thank you.
Adding even little personal touches too. I don't know how many shops may be interested in doing this. However, I can tell you shops are doing this because I used to do it. If you're, I mean, I know every advisor, if there's some advisors on here, I know y'all are awesome, but I mean, if you even want to take it up a little bit, obviously talk with your shop first, make sure this is cool. Take note of just your clients in general, you know? What I mean
Mhm.
with that is that if you see that there's, let's just say like Dunkin' comes in the car a lot, you know, go to Dunkin', get like 10 $5 gift cards. If you see
Yeah.
somebody drinks Dunkin' a lot, leave a $5 gift card in there, happy holidays or whatever you want to put on there, you know? Somebody, you know, maybe you see a couple of Target bags in there, Walmart bag, whatever it may be, you know? Go to Walmart, buy 10 $5 gift and just a little something. I mean, what is $5 going to get them? Hardly anything anymore, but it's the gesture about it. Maybe it just gets them going there. Then they're in a happier mood because they're in a shopping mood. So I mean, even
Mhm.
like taking those little tiny notes and details about your customers out there can absolutely make a big difference, especially with this next month and a half.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we, we took note for during all these conversations with our shops that a lot of shops currently do not have pickup boxes, which we talked about. So something we're trying to do, just to give back to the ATI community, since we really love working with you all, is if you're an ATI shop, just scan this QR code, fill out the quick form, and every single week between now and before Christmas, we're going to choose one shop. We're just going to do a drawing to win this pickup box. It's by 247 Keymasters. There's already a good amount of shops using them. They all love it. But that's just one way we wanted to give back and really, thank you all for the great work you do in your communities and help you provide even more convenience by, offering that expedited pickup process.
And now emphasize this is I went to go see one of our customers and they had this pickup box. They're in Atlanta and I had to wait for Chris. I was standing outside and I am see her pickup box. Someone tried to crowbar that thing off the wall. And it had all these dents, but it didn't budge. Then I asked Chris, "You like it?" Now I still in my mind. I started asking customers. I know auto service expert Ohio sent a picture just recently out of the blue of their box, right? So I decided this year just give away, we can give away one a week. There's no obligation necessary. You don't have to be a customer. Right, we're just giving one away to ATI members, right? Because we believe in, been talking about it. So, geez, there's be 6 or 7 of them by Christmas giving away one a week. So there you go. And just go ahead and register, and it's open for all ATI members. Go ahead and share in your 20 groups, and then no obligation. We just care it's the right thing. Right,
That's
makes us
awesome. One a week too. That's
yeah.
pretty slick.
Yeah, there you go, right? And it's a pickup for combo. Yeah. Hope you always yours didn't get crowbarred, but
Yeah.
last, right? So it's a great product, right? We do there's no key masters, I only endorse them because I saw one pried off. That's it, right? Or still there, right? And that's all you get. But we're giving away one a week, and it's something you could really use. So just happy to share with that. And that's just a little bonus ad. And for everybody that stayed on to the whole webinar, there you go. So it's super excited. So it's doing the
Yeah.
right thing. Mhm.
Yeah, and I wanted to thank both of you for joining. And,
Welcome.
if anybody listening wants to learn more about Express as well, you can reach out to Dr. Hale or I. You could just email sales@myexpress.io, or our personal emails are just Matthew@and Mark@myexpress.io. And then Mark Bortle, do you want to just give yourself a little line for any ATI shops who, their service teams might benefit from talking to
Hey,
you a
it's
bit?
some training, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, any ATI shops on here. One, thank you for always having me in your homes or shops. Listen to me what I gotta say. If you ever need me, I mean, as always, I usually always give out my email and or phone, which I think we got a chat down there too. So I'll throw it down there in chat, leave it up there for a second.
Oh,
If
thank you.
anybody,
Thank
yeah, I'll
you.
go ahead. Yeah, let me go ahead and oh wait, my keyboard's not on. That would help. That's why nothing was coming up. All right, there we go. And, oops. There we go. And you can email me at any time. I mean, if you ever need any questions, if you ever even want to chat more about holiday things, what we could do, or ideas that they're out there, I mean, that's I'm more than open to talk whenever. So please email me. I'd love to talk to you about any ideas you want to come up with.
Mark, thank
Well,
you for doing
it's
that. We do have if I may, real quick, someone, David, had mentioned the QR code didn't open. Matthew, if I can
Mhm.
ask, can we send the link to everybody that's on the webinar?
yeah, we'll make
I
sure
won't correct
everybody
that.
on the webinar. I think you might just have to be logged into an email, but we'll take care of that for you.
So I could try to
David,
scan
thank
it
you
if you
for
want me
letting me
to.
know and what's in now. Matthew, can you show the slide again and see if
I see
Mark
it.
Bortle can get in? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me put that back up.
David, thanks for letting us know, and we'll email
Yeah,
out.
thank you.
Mm, it did. Oh yeah, it says you need permission. This form can only be viewed by users in the organization.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll just make sure that thanks for bringing that to our attention. We'll just make sure that's fixed, and then we'll have an email sent out to everyone with that form. So no need to save that link right now.
All right. David, thanks for letting us know.
Yeah,
Mark,
absolutely.
thanks for sharing your contact. And then
Oh, 100%.
everybody, just really with you and family, all your families, just have a great holiday season coming up. We appreciate you and every day. And just happy holidays, everybody that's coming up. And kick back,
Absolutely.
trying to make it to a good dinner and enjoy it. So
Hmm.
thank you for
Thank you all
coming.
for having me on here. I appreciate it.
All
Yes,
right.
thank you for joining us, Mark. We always enjoy talking with
Absolutely.
you.
See
Okay,
you guys
Mark.
next. If I
Thanks
don't see
again.
y'all for the holidays, man, have a good time. Have a good New Year. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All
Same
right.
to
Have a
you.
good one.
Have a
See
great
you.
day, everyone.